morning, Flosstube. I'm Lori and welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. Today is Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. It's a cloudy, rainy day in New Jersey. Right now it's just like spritzing. It's not a hard rain. I don't know if we'll get a hard rain, but nonetheless it's raining and I think it's going to be in the 50s today. I'm looking forward to spring. Real spring. Sometimes we don't get spring nor autumn. We go from summer to winter and winter to summer. But anyway, I'm glad you're here. Welcome to my channel. Anybody who's new, welcome. I have fun here talking to myself, but sharing with you. Okay, so I have some notes that I have. And the first thing was a viewer asked that I share this with you. And I think I've shared it in the past. It's that last video I had shared some fabric that I had purchased from Needleworkers Delight in Metuchen, New Jersey. That's my local LNS. And the viewer had said that I should mention that or advise people that if you're going to order things from them, you will at times have a long wait. Yes, I've heard that. I've had to wait for things myself. But they also mentioned that Staci, the 911 Stitcher, explained it in one of her videos that she titled Needle Fest. She attended this Needle Fest last year, and she met the guys that own the shop and told them that she had ordered this fabric months ago and she hasn't received it. And I believe they explained it to her that it still wasn't in. The fabrics hadn't come in. They get a lot of their fabric, I think, from Germany. And so that's why it hasn't come. But she had found a lot of fabric at Needle Fest. So they just told her, cancel your order, purchase here, and in the future, if you want something in particular, call the shop, see if it's in stock, and you'll have a better idea of when you'll get it. So I guess the viewer didn't want me to like maybe lead you on to getting things from Needleworkers, but you know, if it's in and it can be shipped right away, that's great. So maybe you'd want to call the store and find out if a particular item is in stock and how quickly they can get it to you. I mean, I've had to wait as well. I've ordered a piece of Country Mocha Lugana, and it hasn't arrived, and I'm still waiting. My pattern was the Exceedingly Diligent one from Needlework Press. They had to reorder it because they put my copy on the floor and somebody purchased it. So I had to wait for it to come in again. And so I had to wait a couple of months for it to come in. I ordered it back in November, and I think it just came in March. So enough said on that. I love my needlework store. I love the people that run it. And if I have to wait, I have to wait. But I know when you live far away and you pay for something, you expect it to come right away. So the only thing I can suggest is to call the shop ahead of time and see if it's in. Okay. What have I been up to in the last 2 weeks other than stitching? Babysitting. Basically, that's it. I have Caleb, and now I have Gianna occasionally on the weekends. I was there yesterday. She has a cold. They took her to the doctor. It's just a cold, nothing, no COVID or anything like that. And she's quite congested. So I went over to help them out a little bit yesterday. I'm going back today. What else? Oh, and I will be babysitting her starting in June, somewhere in the middle of June. Amy has a summer job, and I will watch her Monday and Tuesdays, and then Caleb, I'll have the other 2 to 3 days, depending on the schedule. So this ought to be interesting. You know, you have children when you're young because you can handle them. You can run after them. Now that, you know, getting up in age, you know, my kids didn't have kids early. So, yeah, to have these little ones, wow. I guess they keep me young. Okay, so that's another thing. Okay, some happy mail. Well, first, on Tuesdays, I go to the library and I meet up with my stitchy friends and quilting friends. And um, Adele had brought in some bags of floss that I guess a friend was getting rid of because her eyesight had gotten really bad and she wasn't going to be stitching anymore. So she gave all this thread to Adele, and Adele put it out there and says, take what you want. I have plenty. I'm willing to share. Please help yourself. So thank you, Adele. I can't even hold it with one hand. I'm sure I'm going to put this into very good use. Thank you. Then my friend Alva found at Target this little shelf and thought I might like it for a finish. So she bought one for her and one for me. Now, who's going to finish something first, Alva? Are you going to give me the inspiration of something, or am I going to do it for you? So I love that. I don't know what color I would paint this, but I think I might. Probably white, and use it for spring, summer decorations. I think that's really cute, and maybe put some vase with some flowers. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can put on that. Then I received a thank you card from Amy with a lovely sentiment inside. You're very welcome, Amy. I'm glad you enjoyed the pattern. Then Christina also sent me a thank you for one of the patterns she won, and she sent me this pretty envelope. I was surprised when it came. My husband says, what did you order now? I said, nothing. And she sent me some stickers. They're perfect for spring. April and May and part of June. These are going to be beautiful in my little book. And I love them that they're not real big and take up like boxes where I can't write in it. Because I like to write in my calendar. I like to write on my calendar. So here's March. I put in what I can find that was green, that wasn't too large, and all my things are popping out. So now I can turn the page and start for April. Okay. And a viewer also contacted me and said that she would, if I was willing to share my address, she'd like to send something to me. So I said, gee, that's really very generous. I said, of course I'll share it with you. And her name is Kathy. She's the Carolina cross stitcher on Instagram. And so this is what she sent me. My own bee skept. Look how beautiful this is. And some of you might have seen it on other people's channels. Her husband makes these, and she explained that she went to him and said, I need something to hold my scissors. So he came up with this design, and look how perfect. I just love this. This is, I have like a TV table in front of me when I stitch downstairs, and at times I just lay the scissors down there, but sometimes I lay it on my chair and I end up sitting on them. So this is going to be perfect, and I love it. I just love it. I mean, I can't say anything more about it. The workmanship is like the best. Wow, so impressed that somebody that makes these things. And the special thing about this is that she's offering one to one of my viewers. So this will be a giveaway this month. It's only open for the people in the continental United States. Sorry for anybody who's not part of us, but shipping expenses are very expensive. Expenses are expensive. So it open to the continental United States, and I would like you to go to her Instagram page and see what is available but from them. Peter does excellent workmanship, and I have a few things that I want to buy from there. So let's see, should I give you a question to answer? what one thing are you looking forward to stitching this month? Okay. And what I also want to show was she sent me a card with a lovely, lovely sentiment inside. And she must have made this clothespin. Look at that clothespin. It reminds me of a Van Gogh. Starry, Starry Night. I know, I love this. This will be in my room where I'm in here every day, and I will see it every day. Kathy and Peter, thank you so much, and thank you for offering it to one of my viewers. What else was I going to say? I will put the information in my drop-down menu of the Instagram, and then I will also include Kathy's email if you have questions about ordering something from them. And yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough. Alrighty, what am I going to talk about next? Oh, today is the 3rd. I'm going to have the giveaway close on Saturday, April 9th at 11:59 p.m. And in my next video, I will do a random number generator and pick somebody for the Beap scissor holder. Okay, now some finishes. I finished stitching this piece. It's embarrassing. I looked it up in 2017, so it was the first year that I stitched. It is a Lizzie Kate pattern, and it's called A Prayer of St. Francis. And I gifted the pattern to Cindyscrossstitch. Cindy, I think that's her. I'll have to look up her floss name. I believe it's Cindyscrossstitch. And I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but this is the prayer of St. Francis. And I always loved that prayer. So when I saw this, I wanted to stitch it. So that's my first finish. Then I had stitched all the Lizzie Kate Flip It pillows. And this was the April pillow. And I did them on different fabrics. You know, I didn't do everything the same because every month I put out a different vignette of it. So it didn't have to be identical. But when I put the backing on, I put it on, it's supposed to be right sides together. I did right side to wrong side. And when I flipped it, I realized it. And I had put interfacing on it. And I tried to fix it and it just didn't work. And I gave up on it and I left it like that. So it was just plain. You could almost see through it that the wrong side is on the inside. So I said, you know, one day I will redo that. And I think I did this in 2017 as well. And I was doing it 2 times because I'd make one for me and I'd make one for my daughter-in-law, Rebecca. At that time, she was a kindergarten teacher and she would put them on her desk, and the kids every month, you know, they waited for it, like, oh, today's a new month, you know, what, do you have a new pillow? And she'd have it on her desk and she says, you can come up and look at it all you want, but I guess when they're not doing their real work, but don't touch it. So she says every month they would say, oh, what's the new pillow? And so it was a great, I guess, learning thing too. Maybe she talked about it. So anyway, I said one day I'm going to restitch it. So when I go to the library, I had decided that was going to be my library project. And I finished it. I just didn't stuff it yet. And guess what? I have the fabric in the right direction. I cut the back out this time. So I will stuff it and then do a whip stitch and probably try to match a piece of fabric as best I can in that section. And I just changed the color of April. I put it on a different fabric. Yeah, changed a few colors, made them a little bit brighter. So that will be that. Then I wanted to finish Autumn in the Village. So the first thing I did was I mounted it on sticky board with some batting in here. And I said, and I bought a frame. This is not the correct frame that is the final product, but something very similar to this, but it's a little bit smaller. And I said, oh, I'll put a piece of foam core in there with some fabric, and then I will mount this on the foam core and then, you know, put it in the frame. And that was my thought. So I said, okay, what fabric can I put in the backdrop of it? So the first thing I picked out, and I'm only telling you this because I'm trying to help you when you decide on how you're going to finish things. So I says, oh, this would be a nice fall fabric. It's like branches and maybe the color of falling leaves. So then I put this on here. And I don't know, it just didn't do anything. I don't know if it was too busy, too bright. So I said, no. So then I said, what about a blue sky? Now there's blue skies in the fall. There's blue in this picture. And it was okay, but it wasn't doing anything for me. So I then said, what about if I put it on a black fabric? I said, ooh, I like that. So then I said, the frame is brown and the fabric would be black. So I said to my husband, because he was helping me, I says, oh, I think we need to paint this frame black. He goes, we? I said, okay, when you paint my frame black, I'll be very happy. And so he did. And I just love this. And that, get closer so you can see it. This is Autumn in the Village by Stony Creek. And I just love this finish. I hope you do too. Okay, so I'm glad to have gotten 3 things, well, 2 finished that was in the, like, I don't have under the bed box, but I have them in a plastic bin. Okay, so that's what I finished. I forgot to get the things that I stitched on. Okay, so then it was back to March Madness, and I had two projects left. And the first project was, it was Little House Needleworks, Little House Neighborhood, and Needlework Press, and Be Kind to One Another. So I stitched on 2 days on Little House Needleworks, and then I stitched 2 days on Be Kind to One Another. And I finished and Be Kind to One Another. That's the whole piece. I have to stand up to, and then it's still not in. Oh, almost. I'll come in close. So I was really happy. I put this on my Whipco board as like putting so many hours into it because I did not think I'd get a finish. And I'm so happy that I did. And that's the end. So, oh, and this is so I picked that up for the 2 days, finished it, and then March Madness had one more round, and I picked up Little House Needleworks again and put in another 2 days. So this is where I've gotten on Little House Needleworks. So I worked down the border. I finished this house, worked down the border, did the tree, the urn of flower, and then the house. Now, I realized after I did the whole house, or the part that I finished here, is that this center part of the house was supposed to be a lighter shade than the side parts. There's another side that goes on here. And I said, I'm not pulling that out. But then when I took it out of the Q-snap and I looked at the other houses, all the other houses were one color. I'll come in a little bit closer. They're basically one color. So I said, you know what? That house will be one color as well. And I'm okay with that. At first I was really upset about it, but yeah, I'm okay with it. So I have the other half of the house, another flower urn, and the tree, and bringing the border down, and then I have the words on the bottom to complete. And my goal on this is to complete it by the end of the year. And that's also my WIPGO goal. Okay, so let me so this was March Madness, and so it was Little House Needleworks and Be Kind. Be Kind was completed, so Little House Neighborhood went forward. And I had 5 finishes in March. It was Justice for All, Templar Prophecy, Spring Fling, the first round. Then I finished Christmas Garden in the second, and Be Kind in the third, but not this one yet. So that was my March Madness. I will most likely will not do this again next year, and only because I missed, even though I've gotten so much finished, I missed stitching on my other projects. I mean, I love that every 2 days it's like almost like a new start again, because it's the continuation and it's exciting, and that works for me. Anyway, so then I had a couple of days extra at the end of the month, because some of those projects I finished with the 2 days or 1 day. Like it was a 2-day rotation. I finished it in 1 day, so I had some extra days at the end of the month. So I picked up the Scottish sampler, and this is what it looks like. It's by the Sampler Company, Brenda Keys, and I had said I was leaving out this intricate border in the middle. I was just going to bring the alphabet up and then work down. And the goal this for the year for me was to stitch everything above that border. And on my WIPGO board, it was to work 18 hours. And I just got in 15 and a half. So I can't mark it off my WIPGO board. For April, the 2 numbers that were called were 10 and 7. And I did get to yellow out one more, and that was the Be Kind by Needlework Press that I just showed you the finish. And I had said I was only going to do 18 hours was my goal. I ended up finishing it. So I have these 3 completed on WIPGO, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, that have been called that I have not met my goal in yet. Okay, so that's the Scottish House Sampler, and I'm stitching this on Golden Tan Lugana. It is with one color. In case you're interested, I think it's $336. It's like a navy blue or blue royal. No, not royal. It's a blue. And I finished that was the back. So I finished the people. I think I had this person and the 2 children, and I had the other half of this bird to do, this bird here, and then I started the alphabet and I got to the house. So I met my yearly goal, but not my WIPGO goal. So So I'm enjoying this stitch, and I like working on this fabric. Okay, the next one that I picked up, and I picked this up because it was on my Whipco board. It is my notes. A Perfect World by the Scarlet House. And the goal was to work on this for 15 hours, and I did meet that as far as Whipco. This is where I've gotten to. So I stitched the tree. The bird was there. The tree the first night and the roof, and then the second night I did the house. Yeah, I think the birds were there and the flowers, and so I did the tree and the house. Didn't get too much accomplished, but progress nonetheless. And this is stitched on a 28 count Heritage Lugana. Okay, so then it was April 1st. I have my notes here. And April 1st, my Zoom group was going to stitch 6 things in 6 hours. But instead of doing it in all one day, we decided to do 3 in 3 hours on Friday evening and 3 on last night, Saturday. So the first 3 that I worked on was, this is Gingham Greetings by Stitching with the Housewives, and I decided to try this truck here. I am not a fan of black Aida stitching because I have a hard time seeing it. That's the only reason. And this is how far I've gotten on that in 1 hour. So I counted the stitches, and that's 151 stitches in 1 hour. So I didn't know if that was what I stitch normally, but I decided to count the stitches on all of them and then see if there's an average of what I stitch, because people always ask me, well, how many hours do you stitch and how do you get so much accomplished? I think the ladies that I stitched with this last night, they stitch much faster than I do. And I told them that. They stitch in hand. They do the sewing method. You know, I have a Q-snap, or if I'm doing a tension hoop, I have to hold a hoop, and I, one at a time, front, back, front, back. So I don't know what to tell you. The next one is To the Beach and Back by Needle Bling Designs. And Danielle shared that pattern with me. And this is stitched on an 18 count platinum Aida. And that's, I got the little seahorse and the I and the beginning of the L. And that was 208 stitches. And this is kind of stiff. And I used fabrics that challenged me a little bit. Like the Luganas are easy to work with. They're soft, and sometimes you have to poke at Aida. But I wanted to do it. The next one is a Lizzie Kate Flip It, and it's called Home. And this is stitched on 16 count Mushroom Lugana. And this is what I've stitched so far. And that is 204 stitches. Okay, that was night 1. Then we had night 2. And this is a Lizzie Kate. What's it called? Night Before Christmas Sleds. And I decided to start the mouse right there. And this is being stitched on perforated paper. And let's see if you might see the lines through here. Here's a little mouse that I started. And that, believe it or not, was 194 stitches. I had to frog a little bit. I frogged a lot on the black Aida. because the first row of stitches, I was like, I don't think that's right. I think I was making holes in the fabric. So, oh, there's my guys. Okay. And then I picked up Little House Needleworks Season's Greetings. And this is stitched on 18 count Country Mocha. And that's just basically the border I worked on. And that was, let's see, where is that? 204 stitches. So I had 204 stitches. And then finally, I did another Lizzie Kate snail mail. I love that. It's so cute. And this was being stitched on 16 count Ivory Lugana. And that's how far I've gotten on snail mail. I got border and snail. And that was 202 stitches. So the lowest was the gingham, the black Ada at 151, followed by the perforated paper at 194. And then the other ones were 202, 204 twice, and 208. So I don't know, for those that were interested on how I stitch, you know, we had a timer. I press start. I give them updates along the evening, and we just stitched the hour. Hit the buzzer went off. We stopped, and that was it. Sometimes I stop like a minute or two earlier if I finished the thread, and you know, I wasn't going to get anywhere. I didn't want threads hanging. So, but basically that's what I stitch. 200 stitches on a regular block type of stitching. If it was more confetti-like, probably not as many. So, I think that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you give me a thumbs up, and you know, leave a comment if you want to be entered for the Bee Scout. Answer the question, and I will be back. When will I be back? Probably, I don't know if I'll be back the 15th of April or the 18th after Easter. It all depends how much we're hosting Easter. So we're not going to be too big of a group because I don't want to have my usual crowd in an indoor function. I will host something in the summer outdoors and, you know, invite more family to that. But Easter is going to be basically small. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law and significant other and my niece. Other than that, my sons and us. So, you know, it all depends how much time I have, but it's either going to be before or after Easter. I'm leaning more towards after because I don't think Easter weekend I might be stitching. But whenever it is, we'll find out who is going to win the Bee Scout, Continental United States only, please. And that's it. So have a wonderful Easter if I don't get to you before, and have a happy Passover. This time they're falling in the same time frame. So whatever you celebrate, I hope it's with family, friends, and you're able to see them again. So until next time, stay well, be safe, love you guys. Bye.